In the small, ordinary town of Chuglas, Idaho, 4 people live lives that each feel a little out of sync with the world. Garrett, the garbage man Garrison, once a video game champion, now runs a quirky game store and hunts for rare treasures among the detritus of the age of consoles. Siblings Natalie and Henry are freshly uprooted after the death of their mother. Natalie burdened with a new job at the local potato chip factory. Henry, an inventive but socially awkward teen whose homemade jetpack causes him more trouble than triumph. And Dawn, the eccentric real estate agent with a petting zoo in her car, dreams of something bigger than she presently has. On the face of it, these 4 are disconnected, misfits in their own ways, but fate soon pulls them towards something extraordinary. Garrett's scavenging instincts lead him to an old, abandoned house filled with dusty memorabilia. Among the items he finds are 2 mysterious artifacts, an orb of dominance and an earth crystal, objects that seem to pulse with strange energy. Unbeknownst to Garrett, these items once belonged to a minor dreamer named Steve, who long ago discovered a portal into another dimension. Steve's story, told in brief flashback sequences, shows him breaking into a forbidden mine in his youth, stumbling upon the orb and crystal, and thereby unlocking a doorway into the overworld, a blocky, cubic realm of the game world built on possibility and creation. But Steve's joy turns to alarm when he unwittingly opens a gateway to the Nether, a dark and destructive domain ruled by the piglin mage Queen Malgosia, who despises creativity and seeks dominion over the overworld. Steve is captured, his dog Dennis escapes to the real world with the artifacts in tow, and the stage is set. Back in real-world Chuglas, Henry's jetpack crash draws attention, and on the same night the artifacts Garrett unearthed activate a shimmering portal. Inexplicably, Garrett, Henry, Natalie, and Dawn are sucked through the portal and arrive in the overworld, a place of vast green landscapes built on cubes, strange mobs roaming in twilight, and infinite possibility. They are bewildered by the rules of this world, the time cycle of day and night, when night brings skeletons and zombies, the crafting of tools and blocks, the idea that creativity isn't just fun, but survival. Their arrival triggers a ripple of activity in the overworld. Queen Malgosia learns that the orb and crystal, now in human hands, can unlock her access to both realms. Her plan? To extinguish the light of the overworld, convert it into a wasteland like the Nether, and in doing so, expand her power into the real world. Enter Steve, garbed in miner's gear, but with the ease of a seasoned builder. He finds the newcomers and, despite his reluctance to re-engage with his old life, agrees to guide them. Steve becomes their mentor, showing them how to craft pickaxes, build shelter, mine ore, and defend the villagers' settlements. Through his teaching, we learn more of his past, how the overworld once symbolized hope and creativity for him, how the Nether's domination of his mind left him cynical, and how the artifacts represent the power to shape worlds. As the quartet train under Steve's tutelage, they each begin to grow. Henry, whose imagination once powered failed inventions, finds that in the overworld, he actually has affinity. His ideas aren't just fantasies, but blocks to craft. Natalie learns that her sense of responsibility and hushed yearning for freedom can fuel creation. She builds a watchtower, rallies villagers, and becomes a link between communities. Dawn's petting zoo proclivities become a strength as she befriends wolves and llamas and organizes them into a defensive flank. Garrett, finally stepping out from his washed-up gamer identity, reclaims his instincts. He helps negotiate with villagers, plans block fortresses, and proves that scavenging knowledge can serve in a world built of blocks. But Malgosia's forces descend. At night, her piglin army storm the village, destroying crops and scattering villagers. In the chaos, Steve is captured once more. The 4 misfits must act without their mentor. They launch a daring rescue mission, infiltrating the Woodland Mansion, a sprawling fortress of the overworld, to retrieve a new earth crystal, since the one they carried cracked in the portal. Inside, they encounter great hazard, booby traps, a great hog created by Malgosia, and legions of piglins. Garrett sacrifices himself to distract the hog, while Henry secures the crystal. Dawn and Natalie rally wolves and villagers, while Steve frees himself and rejoins the fight. With the artifacts in hand, the stakes escalate. Malgosia activates the Orb of Dominance to darken the sky above the overworld, turning daylight to crimson, and the structure of the world begins to collapse. The misfits lead the assembled villagers, wolves, iron golems, and even some reformed piglins in a calamitous battle worthy of the realm. Block fortresses rise, lava flows redirect, creepers detonate as tactical devices, and Steve duels Malgosia in hand-to-hoof combat. At the last moment, Henry uses his creative spark to craft an impossible leap. Steve strikes the orb with a hammer crafted of diamond, and Dawn rallies the wolves for a flanking attack. Malgosia is vanquished. The sky lightens. The overworld begins to heal. Once peace returns, the portal home awaits. The four misfits must decide: return to their ordinary lives or stay and build a new future in the limitless sandbox realm. Steve, surprisingly, chooses to return with them, realizing that creation and community aren't confined to a digital realm. Back in Chuglass, they emerge, slightly changed, slightly battered, but united, emboldened by their journey. The artifacts are placed in a museum-like display in Garrett's store, and the group begins to build a new video game inspired by their experience: Block City Battle Buddies. Steve, now a mentor in both worlds, watches as children play the game, inventing new combinations of block and creature. In a post-credit scene, a villager from the overworld, who had sneaked into the portal, walks the streets of Chuglass and is struck by Vice Principal Marlene. Marlene coaxes him out of the wreck and offers help. The scene ends with them marrying, hinting at the fusion of worlds and the promise of further adventures. Another scene shows Steve meeting Alex, the character familiar to players, in his childhood home, teasing a sequel set for 2027. Throughout the film, the thematic thread holds. Creativity is more than building blocks or pixels. It is the power to reshape one's world, to collaborate despite differences, to turn misfit identity into strength. The overworld is a mirror for the human world. There, too, you must mine your fears, build your hopes, survive your nights, and when dawn comes, shape the world not only as it is, but as it could be. In the end, the misfits are no longer misfits. They are architects of change.
And I'll go if